Crazy to think it's already been this long, but about 2 weeks ago we were blessed with a new Zelda game, and more importantly, a new Ganondorf fight. Throughout Ganondorf's limited appearances, he's had amazing design, amazing personification, and he fits into each story so well it's astonishing. There's just one small problem. All his boss fights are lacking. I don't know who on the Ocarina team thought this was cool and epic. This fight would have been better off as a cutscene, and this one would have been a solid fight without the last segment. And I got some comments saying I was tweaking about the Twilight Princess fight, but if you actually approach him and interact with Ganondorf, then the fight isn't as boring as I made it seem in the video. However, if I as the player have to put in effort to make the fight engaging, then maybe the fight was never engaging in the first place. Anyways, I have now experienced the story of Tears of the Kingdom in its entirety. So is Tears of the Kingdom's Ganondorf the version of Ganondorf that I and many others have been waiting for? Once more, allow me to set the scene. We're first introduced to Ganondorf at the very beginning of the game, dried up like the grandma from SpongeBob. Zelda and Link approach him to be immediately overpowered while he's in a weakened state, sending Zelda back in time and hospitalizing Link for the second time in his life. Peering back into the past where Zelda was sent, we get to see Ganondorf's first introduction to Hyrule's history as he looks over the kingdom, hatred and envy burning in his heart as he plots to take down the kingdom. He sends an army of Molduga to no avail. Hyrule and its leaders aren't as weak as Ganondorf assumes, so he decides to take a more cunning approach, which isn't really that cunning, I'm gonna be honest. This man is so obviously evil. Look at him. You're gonna sit here and tell me that throughout this whole scene, no one saw him deviously grinning? He comes into the throne room, swears loyalty in the most disrespectful way possible, threatens and insults the king, then leaves. And Zelda's like, that man is evil. And Rauru's like, I know. I'm keeping an eye on him. Bro, how is giving an obviously evil man access to your kingdom beneficial to you in any way? Rauru may be a goat, but he's not the GOAT. Rauru's decision right here is what doomed his kingdom. Now that Ganondorf has access to Hyrule as he desires, all that's left for him is to enact his plan. Seeing that Rauru and the officials trusted Zelda so much, he sends a phantom disguised as her to get through security with ease. His goal is the Queen of Hyrule, Sonia and her secret stone. Given his obviously evil nature, Sonia and Zelda see this coming, but it's already too late.
Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors!
In the last-ditch effort to protect the kingdom, Rauru and the sages confront Ganondorf, but they're unsuccessful since Ganondorf's pronouns are him/him. And on the brink of defeat, in a final act of desperation, Rauru seals Ganondorf, sacrificing himself in the process. If you're like me, you're probably wondering why. Why did Ganondorf do this? That's a damn good question, and one they never answer. Bro was just evil for the sake of being evil. But when you got dumbasses like Rauru handing over his kingdom on a silver platter, I can't even blame him. Ganondorf survives under the castle tens of thousands of years into the present day off the power of his hatred and the secret stone he took from Sonia. No other ambition other than destruction. His characterization may be lacking, but I really love how oppressive this version of Ganondorf is. We have not seen domination on this scale from any other Ganondorf. Within hours, he almost had complete dominion over Hyrule. Most other Ganondorfs take on the sages one by one, but Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf not only takes on all the sages at once, but a powered up Zelda and the descendants of literal gods. Even after he is sealed, he terrorizes the kingdom from underneath with just the power that leaks from the seal. It's crazy to think that that was what Calamity Ganon was. They couldn't even beat the leaking power of Tears of the Kingdom's Ganondorf. It took them 2 tries. So if it wasn't for the time travel, they definitely would have gotten clapped. Honestly, once again, just like with all the other Ganondorfs, Nintendo hit it out of the park with the pomp and circumstance. I still like Wind Waker Ganondorf more as a character, but as a villain, Tears of the Kingdom's Ganondorf is undeniably amazing. Rauru made it easy for him, but you gotta respect his devotion to being a hater. All that's left is the actual fight itself. Hold on. That was just me being stupid. Let's reapproach. What the fuck? He actually fights you. Let's fucking go. This fight to me is what I feel like the Twilight Princess fight aspired to be. This final fight is like a proficiency test. It's not extremely hard, but it doesn't need to be. What makes this fight so good is the mirror aspect between Ganondorf and Link. This is true man-to-man combat. Just like Link, Ganondorf is in possession of the 4 main weapon types: sword, long sword or great sword, whatever you want to call it, spear, and bow. And also like Link, he has specific tells and pattern. If you've paid close attention to Link's animations, you'll notice he and Ganondorf have similar combat styles and telegraphed attacks. Ganondorf has an attack where he sprints and slashes, putting his weight into the slash, just like Link. He has an immediate standing slash, just like Link. A pause standing slash, just like Link. It's very subtle in both Link and Ganondorf's animations, but the small pause is the difference between getting hit and not getting hit. This mirroring of fight styles also transfers with the other weapon types as well. There's a pretty massive size difference between Ganondorf and Link, but by principle, the jump attack is mostly the same with a two-handed weapon. And they have nearly identical animations for the spear, both sprinting and standing. Ganondorf can even flurry rush, a move thought to be exclusive to Link, turning a mere gameplay element into a real ability that's a part of this world, shared only amongst the top echelon of fighters. But don't get it twisted, Ganondorf also has some attacks that are only his, like the Lionel Smash attack, which Lionel's most likely learned from him, and the Zenitsu Spear attack is a Ganondorf original as well. In both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, the combat system feels trivial most of the time since you just end up wailing on enemies, including the final boss. However, this final fight validates and honestly expands on the combat system, forcing you to actually have a consistent amount of proficiency with the combat system in this game. In the third phase of this fight, you will attack as normal for the most part, but if you flurry rush, he'll flurry rush your flurry rush, forcing you to flurry rush again or parry his attack, meaning you have to have the timing down. You can't just chance your way into a victory like you could in every other Ganondorf fight from the previous games. And this fight might be easy for some, even given all that, and it isn't meant to be some harsh, unbearable Dark Souls boss, but the depth of this fight should not be ignored. If you really want to, you can make it more difficult for yourself like I did. I didn't bring any gloom resistant food, making the damage I took permanent. They even have that built into the game, as some attacks permanently remove your hearts. If you want to make it even harder, you can just fight the boss without doing the temples, and you'd have to not only fight each boss before you approach Ganondorf, but micromanage fighting multiple Ganondorfs at once for the second phase of the fight. So it can be as difficult as you want it to be. This is a really good and competent boss fight. They actually delivered. We got the spectacle and the fight this time. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't believe. I was a doubter and a naysayer secretly, but they washed my doubt away. It wasn't the savage ass beating I was hoping for, but it's still great in its own way. Amazing 10 out of 10 fight, I'd say. There's absolutely no complaints. This is where the fight ends and all is well. Fine, I'll talk about the final form. Just like with Breath of the Wild, they had to end it with as much pomp and circumstance as possible with a massive beast-like form. Except this time it's not terrible. That doesn't mean it's good, and it's still kind of boring, but it's not nearly as offensive, and it's kind of cool, honestly. Refusing to take an L, Ganondorf sacrifices his mind, body, and soul, literally, by eating the secret stone, becoming an immortal dragon fueled by nothing but hatred and destruction. So nothing has really changed. Zelda, who has also been draconified, assists you as you take down the Demon King turned dragon and cleanse the world of darkness. The use of skydiving in this final fight is nice because it brings things full circle. The contrast from the first diving scene to the skydiving down towards Ganondorf in his dragon form, as they expand on the initial theme from the first skydive, adding more instruments to the end of the game, is nice. You know what, it's not that bad at all, honestly. It's pretty good. While it does share similarities with one of the worst final bosses ever, it's presented better and even has narrative callbacks. So overall, I'd give this fight a 9 out of 10. They outdid themselves. They really did. Ganondorf deserved better, and they gave him better. There's not really much more I could say. A great ending to a great game. Let me know what you thought of the fight in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you're based, and as usual, have a good one.